Hello, today I'm going to be working on this screen. This is what pops up when two units in various tactics attack each other. Now currently, I have it partially complete. The units merge, do the little attack and shake. It has some timing bugs. I'm not going to worry about those too much right now. What I'm going to be concentrating on is this flash effect you'll notice there, and having one of the units grow out or pop away. So very first, let's work on this flash effect. Now luckily, it's not very hard to do that inside of Cocos. There's a class called Color Layer. So I would create a white color layer. Now I'm going to want to keep on pointer to that, because I'm going to want to remove it again in a moment. By setting the Z to -1, I make sure it's going to appear behind other things. And then I'm saying in one frame, I'm going to remove the color layer. Now in Cocos, when you schedule something to happen, it happens every single time the interval occurs. So if you just want it to happen once, you've got to unschedule it right away. And then I'm setting it to nil so that if I try and access it later, the game won't crash. I'm actually going to get rid of this interval. If you don't have an interval, it'll just happen the very next frame. So I'm going to give that a run. Alright, so the flash didn't actually show up. It wasn't there for long enough. So I'm just going to change this interval for the last 1 second so I can see if it's actually appearing. So it is kind of hard to notice. Even in here, it's almost impossible to notice the white flash if you're not looking for it. It's more of an effect that you almost feel than something you're consciously aware of. Okay, so it is appearing, it's just not appearing for very long. I'm going to play with that number a little bit more later. It's getting pretty close. So the next thing to do, if you watch here again, you'll see when they collide, I'm going to ignore this little animation for now. I have all the stuff for that. It'll take a little bit longer to implement. Won't be as interesting to watch. So instead I'm going to concentrate on having the loser fly backwards. Alright, so I've got each of their attacks against the enemy. In the game, each unit has its own class, and they also have different attack values against the different classes. So for example, a pikeman or a spearman is stronger against mounted units, but weaker against ground units, whereas a swordman would be strong against a spearman, but weak against a mounted unit, and so forth. That's kind of the triangle we have going right now. As we add more units, of course, additional complexity will arise. But right now we just have kind of that rock, paper, scissors dynamic going on. It's a good starting point anyways. So we want to make sure that, or sorry, if a unit's attack is less than or equal to the attack of the unit it's going against, it actually dies. So in this case, we're just going to call a kill animation effect. So I don't have to code the same thing twice. Now, if you check here, you can see that which direction it flies back will be based on if it's on the left side of the screen or the right side of the screen. So we're going to have to put in a check to see which side of the screen it's on. So I have a variable for the center of the screen. So if it's greater than that half of the screen, it's on the right side of the screen. Otherwise, it's on the left side. So if it's on the right side, we're going to want it to go off the screen. And if it's on the left side, we want it to go to the left. Oops, missed a... So the first thing we're going to want to do, it moves pretty fast. We're going to have a CC move to. And again, we don't want it to take very long. Let's say 0.1 second. Oops. Moving towards that target position. And then, just for fun, let's say, let's just see how that looks for now. All right, let's see what happens. Okay. So it looked kind of odd. They collided, and then this guy flew away a second later. So I think what I want to do is actually have this kill dead units happen right away. And of course I forgot to unschedule it. I'm going to do that now. And give this another shot. I'm just going to look at this for a little bit more because it doesn't quite look natural. I think it just needs to slow down a little bit. Because they kind of collide, and this guy's just gone, and you don't really know what happened. You want to actually have that feeling of like him being pushed back by the force of the collision. Alright, let's see what happens. No, that was even worse. Okay, I'm going to play with these numbers a little bit later. I think you guys get the idea of how this is all working anyways. At this point, it is pretty much just a numbers game. So the last thing to do is to have this effect where when a unit wins, he grows. So if I go to put it in, I'm just going to put it underneath this. Alright, so it's almost the exact same as my kill dead units method. It just checks which unit is victorious. The only difference is that only one unit can actually survive a battle. One unit pretty much always dies unless both units have an attack of 0, but then we shouldn't enter the screen. Well, actually, we should probably check in that in here. So it is possible that you'd end up with two units attacking each other who both can't attack the other class type. Well, it should be stopped by the game, so I'm just going to leave that in there, though, just in case it ever happens. Alright, so our grow animation. What we want to do is we just kind of want to scale it up. And we're going to say this takes about maybe 0.3 or 0.4 seconds. And it's going to double in size for now. Now he also fades out. And he does it actually a little bit faster than he grows. Alright, so the only other thing I might want to do is maybe move this guy up a little bit. So I'm going to toss that in, and then that'll probably be the last thing I do this video. But there will be a much better one, or a much better animation in before this game ships. Oops, I didn't actually make him on that action stop. Alright, here we go. Let's see how this grow looks. Pretty good. Not quite as good as that, that's a lot faster. But we've got all the basic pieces in. So with that, thanks for watching.